In India, owning land, it's not just about money, is it? It's a dream, it's security for your family. But what if that security is actually built on really shaky ground? What if the piece of paper you have isn't a guarantee, but just the start of a long, stressful legal fight? Well, that's the complicated puzzle of India's property system. And today, we're going to look at how we might finally solve it.
So, why are we talking about this right now? Well, something huge just happened, coming from the very top. In a recent case, Sami Love versus the state of Bihar, the Supreme Court of India didn't just make a small ruling. No, it sent a shockwave through the entire system. It called for nothing less than a complete overhaul of how we record and recognize who owns what in this country.
And believe me, the court did not mince words. They slammed what they called the bureaucratic loop that traps everyday citizens, a nightmare created by our ancient land record systems. The message was loud and clear. India has to move to a modern, digital, and this next word is the most important one, a conclusive titling system. And that one word, conclusive, is the real game changer here.
Okay, so to really get what the Supreme Court is talking about, we first need to understand a basic difference. There are two totally different ways to handle property records, and it all comes down to deeds versus title.
This right here shows you the two paths perfectly. On one side, you have the deeds registration system. That's what we mostly use in India. Think of it like a government diary. It just makes a note that a sale happened. But on the other side, you have the title registration system. Now, this is a government guarantee. It's a stamp of approval that says, yes, you are the one and only owner, period.
Let's break that down a little more. With our current deeds system on the left, the government gives you zero guarantees. Your ownership is only presumptuous, which basically means it's assumed to be true, but anyone can challenge it in court. Now, the proposed title system on the right, it's a whole different world. The government guarantees the title, making your ownership conclusive. It's final proof. All that ambiguity just disappears.
So why is this distinction so incredibly important? Why is our current system considered so broken? Well, this old way of doing things has created a massive, tangled web of problems that affects millions and millions of people.
And this number right here, this is the shocking result of that broken system. 66%. Just let that sink in for a second. 2/3 of all civil court cases in India are about land and property disputes. This isn't just a minor headache. It's a national crisis that is literally choking our entire justice system. So what's driving that insane number? A whole bunch of things. For starters, we're still running on laws from the 1800s. They were never built for today's world. And like we said, there's no conclusive title, which just invites lawsuits over fake documents and people illegally taking over land. The process itself is a pain, the rules are different in every single state, and even when we've tried to go digital, a lot of the time we've just copied old mistakes onto new computer systems. Now, to be fair, it's not like nobody's tried to fix this. For years, the government has been making a real push towards a digital system. So let's take a quick look at what's already been done to pave the way. So here's some of the groundwork that's been laid. You've got the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, or DILRMP, which is all about getting to that conclusive system. Then there's ULPIN, or Bu Aadhaar, which is like an Aadhaar card, but for your land, a unique ID for every single plot. We've also got online registration systems and different state portals, so the pieces are there. But they haven't solved the fundamental problem. Not yet.
And this is where it all comes together. The Supreme Court didn't just point out the problems, it handed us the solution. It laid out a clear, step-by-step blueprint for the future, a complete roadmap for real, meaningful change.
And here it is, a straightforward 5-point plan. Number 1, make conclusive titling the law of the land. 2, tear down and rebuild those ancient colonial laws. 3, sync up all the different government records in real time. 4, create a single authority to oversee everything. And 5, bring in powerful new tech like blockchain. All right, let's quickly walk through what each of these really means. First things first, the court says we absolutely have to switch to a system of conclusive titling. This is the foundation for everything else. It means the government puts its stamp on it and provides an undeniable guarantee of ownership, which should stop most disputes before they even start. Second, you can't build a modern skyscraper on a crumbling foundation, right? The court has told the Law Commission to go back and completely restructure those ancient laws from 1882 and 1908. The entire legal rulebook has to be rewritten for a 21st century tech-driven world.
Recommendation 3 is all about making sure the left hand knows what the right hand is doing. The court is saying we have to synchronize everything. So the moment a property is registered, all the other records, land records, mutation data, survey maps, they all have to update instantly and automatically. No more disconnects, no more confusion between departments. And number 4, this one is about having a referee. The court wants a permanent regulatory authority. And this body's job would be to watch over all the registration offices, make sure everyone is following the same high standards across the country, and constantly work on making the system better and better. And now for the final piece of the puzzle, technology. The court specifically pointed to blockchain. So what on earth is that? Well, to put it simply, it's a digital record book that's shared across a whole network of computers. Once a transaction is recorded in a block, it's locked to the one before it, creating a chain that is pretty much impossible to change without everybody knowing. So why is this tech so perfect for our land record problem? Well, because it directly attacks our biggest pain points one by one. It creates a secure, tamper-proof record, which could slash fraud. It's transparent, so everyone can verify the records. You can integrate everything, maps, surveys, ownership info, into one single source of truth. It just makes the whole system more trustworthy. So that brings us to the big final question. We've got the technology, we've got a clear legal roadmap from the highest court in the country. The path forward has never been clearer. The question now is, can this powerful mix of new tech and new laws finally give property owners in India something they've been waiting generations for? Absolute, undeniable certainty.